face in your face.
Good morning, everybody. How you doing? Happy Tuesday. My name is Matt. I'm the Awakening Angler, and I am here with your Oneida Lake morning fishing report. I went trolling this morning. I went trolling this morning. 4 walleyes on Oneida. You know, it's one of those things I said before the other day that I can't ever remember being on the lake before, in the boat, before walleye season closes. We still got, I don't know what day today is. I think it's the 4th or the 5th. We still got a week and a half left of walleye season. So I said, I'm going. Yesterday morning, my buddy Paul and I fished, but the wind was blowing pretty bad out of the east, so we stayed in the river. And we didn't do anything. Looked around, live scoped a little bit, didn't see much. Current scope moving pretty good. River water was 35, up and down. Today, the river water's 37. Today, out on the main lake, I had... the highest I saw was 36.2. It was between 35.2 and 36.2, about a degree difference. I ran as far as I could make it. Not as far as I could make it. I ran right to Constantia, right in the bay, right in the mouth of Scribe Creek. And I made my first trolling pass down through, right in front of the boathouse, in front of Scribe Creek, right there. In 5 to 8 foot of water. Had all shallow diving stuff on, junior thunder sticks, Smithwicks. Made a pass down through skinny, 8 feet or less. I didn't do anything. I went back up and I did another pass down through between 8 and 12. I didn't do anything. I did a third pass, went back up to where I started at the point there, just the big point before Spruce Grove as you're going east. And then I stayed in 15 plus, more like 15 to 18, 17 to 19, somewhere's in there. And I pointed it back west, and I kept right on going. And I trolled all the way from Spruce Grove to almost Oneida Shores. And I stayed in that 15 to 18, 18 to 20. And I ran all deep divers, and I had 3. My first one was the best. It was just under 21 inches. And then I had 2 more keepers that were right around 17. My trolling speed, I was going with the wind, with my trolling motor, with my bow mount. I was going anywhere. My best speed was right around 2. I was going as slow as 1.7 up to about 2.3. And had no problem. My issue was I only had 1 lure fire today. It was a small size blue, silver. I don't know how many people remember these lures, and I don't know if they're still made. That is a Rapala tail dancer, and that took all 3 bites, including the last one right here. Now, what I'll say is that I did that thing on I did that little explanation the other morning coming home from trolling for browns on Lake Ontario. Trolling for walleyes on Oneida Lake and trolling for browns on Lake Ontario was very, very similar. When I was in shallow this morning, first thing, I was doing just what I said, and I was running just unweighted shallow diving stick baits, junior thunder sticks, some smaller Smithwicks, and those are only getting down 2 to 4 feet, 2 to 5 feet maybe. And I went in there and snuck pretty tight to shore, looking to see if those fish were up in there sniffing around. And again, I didn't see any, and I didn't see any in that shallow water. I had my side scan on out to 150 feet. I saw a couple fish here or there, but I didn't see any grouping, which is why I kept working my way deeper, thinking that maybe it hasn't happened yet. Maybe this temperature's got to get up, I don't know, closer to 40 before they go. I personally think it's going to be any time, and I think we're at least a month ahead of schedule with Mother Nature. That's my theory. That's my thought. I could be right, wrong, or indifferent. I don't know. But I kept thinking that I'm going to go a little deeper, and all those fish that I did catch were deeper. And it's fun to be able to troll again, of course, with my new boat. Last year, this time of year with my old boat, I couldn't troll. And trolling is an extremely effective way to use your rods as fish finders. No different when it comes to brown trout on Lake Ontario. Use your rods as a fish finder. It's so shallow, you're not going to see a lot. You really only care this time of year about temperature, surface temp, and speed. So I'm going to keep trolling this week until I find a mother lode that I want to stop and cast on. And that's what I told myself. And early spring for me is probably my most challenging season. For me to get into them and get dialed in and find them, that's probably the trickiest for me. I mean, obviously shallow, but where shallow? Now where I was today in Constantia, it was supposed to be, it was an east-southeast wind, although when I first went out in the morning, it had a little bit of north to it. So I went to the North Shore to get out of it because they were 2 and 3 footers running out there this morning. Then it switched to the south a little bit, and it was coming into that bay, which is exactly how I wanted it. It would that the waves were pushing whatever warm surface water into that bay. It should have pushed bait with it, and of course predators. So that's why I was in there today. Between the wind was blowing in there, and Scriber Creek is right there where the hatchery is at. What better attraction? Now again, I didn't get them today. Doesn't mean they weren't there. Doesn't mean I couldn't have missed them. Doesn't mean that I didn't drive over the top of them and not have what they liked, how they liked it, whatever. But I'll be back. Probably tomorrow morning. So thank you everybody for watching. This is really the first one on Oneida this year. It's March something. I'm not sure the date. And it's exciting. And I've said to people all winter long, I've been on Oneida for 12 straight months in my boat, going back to March of last year when I put my old boat in. And it's a whole lot easier making boat payments every month when you can use your boat 12 months of the year in upstate New York. So I don't know if it's always going to stay like that. I don't know if this coming winter is going to be like that, but this winter was, and I'm pretty stoked. So I like having a boat that's portable, big enough to handle anything, small enough to tow and launch and load by myself very easily. And it opens up a lot. It opens up a lot, so on the contrary, I'd hate to be making a snowmobile payment this year because you probably rode it 2 or 3 times. But all right, that's my thing for this morning. I want to thank you all for joining me, and it feels like we're getting back in the saddle now, everybody. So I will see you guys tomorrow morning from somewhere, probably out here in Oneida. Thank you. Have a great day. Boom. Keep your tip up.